Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Long-Term Podcast. I'm your host, Advin Villa. Today, we have two University of Alberta students pursuing their passions in their creative endeavors, Aarsh, Verg, and Stro. We will discuss the trials and tribulations of what it takes to make it. And while we're still in the inception stages of just our creative mindset, it's a beautiful episode, and there's so much to take away from this episode, everyone. Yeah. If you or anyone you know is thinking about starting something, whether it be rap, modeling, or podcasting, content creation, then this video will give you insight onto the different aspects of everything and just getting started. I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome. All right. Welcome to the Long-Term Podcast, gentlemen. So man. So what was your name?
Stro for Don. Artist name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we got.
Am I the first returner on this one?
No, there's been 3 other people that have returned.
Okay. That's good though. I'm glad that other people have been wanted to come on a couple of times.
It's a good experience so far. People want to come back. It's a good experience.
People, Aviator and shit.
Hell yeah, Aviator.
Yeah, bro. So, Stro.
Yeah, Stro.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
I'd say the main thing about me, I'm just a creative, I'm just an artist. And when I say artist, I don't just mean like I'm a rapper. I mean like I'm truly just like a visionary on some shit. Try to be at least. I've been making music since I've been rapping since I was like 12, like freestyling with like grown folks in high school and whatnot. And then like around like high school, I got kind of good at it. And people was telling me like, yo, you should make music. So I finally started around like grade 12 or something, first year uni. I had like 2-3 years of me just like awesome BS, like just dropping a bunch of terrible songs. Mixed quality was bad. I did everything myself in my like closet studio. But I feel like as of recently started to like kind of find my sound a little bit, get the quality up there, mix and masters and everything. And then on top of that, it's like the media company and just trying to like do as much creative stuff as possible on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to do this full time. It really consumes me. I'm obsessed with it. You know what I mean? I just love music.
I mean, Aarsh and I were just talking about it, where you have to be able to make those times where you do make the music, and some of them are bangers, and then some of them flop.
Some of them are terrible.
You know what? It's all part of the journey, hey?
Yeah.
And you can't think too much of the prize because it's all about the process.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I have a whole file in my like phone.
Yeah.
That just has like a bunch of rough mixes, probably like 70 songs of just like songs that I made strictly on some like not to release, just onto like just test out the waters, just practice a little bit. You know what I mean? Like some people write their verses down. Me, I just make the whole song in the studio. You feel me? Like that's how I like formulate ideas. So it's like, there's really lots of misses. Like you'll take 10 swings and hit one of them. But that one, you feel so good with it.
Like you're gonna be trash for like not just like music, but like any kind of creative process. It's like the beginning is always gonna suck. The first couple of goes, like I was just talking about with him with this, like you're gonna be told no a lot. You're gonna be rejected a lot. And like, what did you say? You said like you feel bad for the people that don't get rejected, right?
Yeah, for the Aarsh and I were just talking about it earlier, and I had said that I feel bad for the people that were just overnight successes, where they tried one thing and then boom, they were a hit.
Low key.
And a lot of those people end up feeling miserable because once they get rejected, they're not able to stomach that because they have never been in that situation.
And that rejection is like, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, you had said you're a visionary, right? And Aarsh said you've the modeling thing, you try over and over. You know what it's like to be punched in the face, like
1,000,000%.
Especially in like something like as competitive as, making music or modeling.
Yeah.
Even like the podcast, like a lot of people are doing podcasts these days. So it's like, how are you going to stick out? How are you going to like make yourself different from everybody? So people are not just going to like skim over you, right?
Like it's a hard feeling when you put your mind, body, and soul into like a piece of art. You know what I mean? Whether that be like physical, digital, whatever it is. And then you put it out into the world for people to like consume, and then it gets like 4 plays or like 2 streams, or you submit it to a library and get like no email back. You know what I mean?
But I think it's that internal and external reward though, where okay, sure, it is the plays. Maybe you get on one song, you get 10 plays. On one song, you get 100. Maybe it's a banger, you get 1,000. And it's all about how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that artist who has maybe 10,000 for his best song, now it's a kind of that hedonic treadmill and that moving goalpost where
Mhm.
now he has to overdo that
Exactly.
or he's going to be miserable.
Exactly.
You're never
And-
gonna be satisfied if you keep
Yeah.
going
Never
up.
be
Like it's
satisfied.
just gonna.
Mhm.
You know,
Like-
actually, I recently learned to like shift my perspective on the music and like what I'm trying to do with it in a sense. As of right now, I used to get discouraged a lot when I'd like make a project or a song and then it would get like low streaming numbers by my standards. But the way I'm seeing it now is like any song that I put out, whether I had spent like $1,000 on marketing or $10 on marketing, like the number of views is irrelevant to me because I'm seeing it as more of a resume in a sense, right? Where it's like in 5 years or 10 years or however long it takes when we're on a higher stage and whatnot, people can go back and see, okay, how did he start though? You feel me? So it's like then the views will come, then the streams will come, then and all the whatever it is. 'Cause I know it's good. I'm confident in my ability. It's just a factor of, you know what I mean?
I hear this about many rappers, about the podcasters, artists, authors.
Mhm.
You think of J.K. Rowling, it took decades for her,
Mhm.
for Harry Potter to take off. Joe Rogan just started off for 5 years straight. It was just him and his buddies just
Mhm.
goofing off.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
nobody gave a shit. But it was never for the views. It was never for the plays.
Mhm.
It wasn't for the extrinsic reward. It was about how they
The
felt about it.
validation,
And for
yeah.
you,
For the love of the
it's
game.
modeling. Like you enjoy it.
Oh,
And
hustle.
The thing that like plagues us, hey, is
Yeah, yeah.
just like we start off and intrinsically we find that we are capable and we are driven, but over time, kind of with social media, with kind of the world and how it works, you're kind of skewered to care about the extrinsic
Mhm.
things like money, like views,
Views,
like the attention. When really at the end of the day, you forget why you started.
Exactly.
And what do you guys do when you forget about that? Because I for me, bro, I forget all the time,
Mhm.
like why I go to the gym, why I do what I do, why I go to school.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, it's not for the grades. Okay. It's not for these extrinsic things, the modalities.
Mhm.
It's all within.
Yeah. I'd say like the first thing I did was that like I realized that we just has a human nature to project our self-importance, our value onto like physical things. You know what I'm saying? Or even metaphorical things, right? For instance, like I make a song and then I have this song in my hand, right? I'm playing it for people. I'm putting like my ego onto this song. Some people don't like that song and I feel personally attacked, right? So I had to remove myself personally from like some of my music in a sense where it's like, okay, I made this song, but you were not this song. You were not this lyrics. You were not this number of views. You were not like the metrics don't define who I am. It was just a moment in time, right? So I started to remove myself from the results and from like the outcome of any of my work, and just like what was the purpose of making that song in a sense was to get out those emotions on some shit, right? And then after that, just reading lots of books and being around the right people, I've convinced myself, and I had to convince myself to be like borderline narcissistic, egotistical about like my own confidence, my own ability. Because it's like, as you were saying earlier, like a bunch of people are doing podcasts, a bunch of people are making music and modeling. What sets you apart? You know what I mean? And it's like you can explain a whole draft of things on like what makes you different. At the end of the day, the world just might not see it that way, right? So the whole world wants you to fail. And when like you telling your friends and your family, hey, I want to be on Rolling Loud one day, like they're gonna look at you kind of sideways. So it's like I had to convince myself no matter what that I can't fail. You know what I mean? To the point where it's like people are gonna take my confidence for arrogance, damn near, where it's like I really believe that no matter what happens, it's gonna happen. So when I'm feeling down, I'm feeling bad, I just think of myself like, yo, remember that time when you made that one song that you was like geeked out in the studio, you was bumping that in the speakers and shit. Remember that time? This is just a temporary moment. You'll get back to that. You feel me? So that's how I kind of stay locked in. And my ego is too high for that. You know what I'm saying?
You need that arrogance, like in
Yeah.
in a sense, right? Otherwise, like nothing gets done with you talking down to yourself. If you're just like, oh, like I'm not good at this, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. I'm not gonna reach those heights. I'm not gonna be able to like make it onto Rolling Loud, or I'm not gonna be on the cover of Vogue, or I'm not gonna be able to like make a podcast like Joe Rogan. Like who gives a shit at the end of the day? Like,
Yeah.
like your present self is enjoying what you're doing right now. Like you're enjoying this process of like, you know, inviting a bunch of people and like networking. Your past self is looking up to you because this is like your past self. This was just kind of like an idea, right?
And now it's reality.
Right? And now your future self is thanking you for doing this right now.
Mhm.
Let's say you don't go anywhere with this. Like your future self is still thanking you. You put yourself out there, right? Like I always say with like my modeling, right? Like worst comes to worst, I did something like for myself. I can look back at something and be like, hey, this was an era in my life where I put myself out there and like I tested the waters, and I'm never gonna regret that. Like even if nothing comes of it, but at the same time, like I have that confidence. Like no, like something's gonna come of it. Something's gonna happen. Because like I just feel that way. I have that like that.
When you
go ahead.
when you put yourself out there, you get the entire world. Anybody could judge you. It's so easy to judge. You see,
They will.
Bro,
They will judge you.
I've had many comments too of just hate, and you know what? At first, bro, it was so shocking to me. Like, how could someone say that about me when they don't know who I am, when they don't know what I'm like, when I'm putting myself out there? But I've had this like just fear. When it's on my deathbed, or like even your one song, Everybody Dies, it got me thinking. And I'm always thinking about this, where you're on your deathbed, or whenever you'd leave this earth, did you do the very best that you could to the very last moment? And for a lot of people, for majority of people, you'd be lying if you said yes.
Yeah, they would be.
Yeah.
And like what you said about people judging you is like years from now, like 20, 30, 40 years from now, when like all those doors close, you're going to realize like you wouldn't actually care. You don't actually care about what people are going to say about you. And you would have been like, only like, it's just natural for young people like us to care what people think. But like you ever see like older people, they don't give a shit about anyone. Like they're doing, like they say what they say, they feel what they feel, they think what they think. And
get canceled for it.
They're doing it. They get canceled for it. Like obviously there's limits to it. It's like that's where judgment like has like its barriers. Like
I think like the beautiful thing about being a creative or an artist in any sense that I like is like it really brings out like the dichotomy, the duality of man in a sense. Because you're at one hand, like you're your biggest critic. Whenever you make a product, it's like you really analyze every small detail that most people don't even brush over. You feel me? On the same time, same coin, you gotta be like your biggest fan, your biggest supporter, because no one's gonna do that for you. You know what I mean? No one's gonna do that for you.
Especially at the inception of it, the beginning stages, where it's just 100 listens, 1,000 listens at most. You have to be the one that goes, I'm proud of this.
Yeah.
And I will keep going. I'm not gonna stop. Nobody's going to do this for me. So you have to be the one to do everything. And at the start, you're the one that has to reach out and email for the modeling gigs. You're the one to have to create the lyrics and be original, set yourself out from the others. You have to do the groundwork of advertising, of marketing, of putting up the music videos, of reaching out to videographers, spending your hard-earned money.
You gotta be the artist, the marketer, the manager, the producer,
and then
engineer.
There's also the well-being of it too. You have to dial in the sleep. Like, are you like, sure, there are there's people out there that just drink every weekend, and sure, they can be successful with that method, or there's people that work out as a way to enhance their creativity. But for me, I think I need to surround myself with good, like-minded people, and I need to be able to read more. I need to be able to listen to the people that actually have been through it and kind of what I've derived is, it's okay to fail. It's okay to eat shit. You have to eat those shit sandwiches at first. And what I've learned too is, of all people, man, Mr. Beast. Like he talks about it all the time. He was a joke in high school, bro. Like an actual joke. I'm sure like all the kids that made fun of him were probably like, what the fuck? Like this guy just like bolstered up. But for a decade straight, like he didn't.
And he handled that.
He faked going to his college because his mom was angry at him. And that's so lame, right? If he was a failure, if he didn't end up taking off, that would have been just really sad. But the moment he did, and it's like I saw this video of this guy saying that he never gave up with content creation. It took him years, and it's like cashing in the lottery. How many cash-ins would you do to the lottery if it was free? You do unlimited, right? Every day. That's the same for your creativity, whether it be artistry, whether it be being a poet, whether it be modeling, whether it be podcasting, creative modality. There's all these things where it's all effort based. Like the more effort you put in, and you know yourself better. Like, are you doing the best that you can? Are you implementing a system where you can grow, or are you surrounding yourself with people who just complain all the time, who just bitch, who just think that the world's out to get them, that, it's all genetics, it's all this. And
I think a
yeah.
big factor. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
But I
no,
think
it's
a
all
big
good, though.
factor of it too is like it's kind of hard to see someone like you went to the same high school or live on the same block with them on some shit, right? And then y'all grow up.
Yeah.
And then you start making something of your life. You start waking up early, going to the gym, looking better, dressing better, making more money, all that stuff. And they're still playing 2K25 on some shit, right? Just being lame, right?
Bro,
they're looking
I
at
was
you.
that guy, man.
Yeah.
League 12 hours every day.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
top shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like they're looking at you like,
Mhm.
damn, I can't even hate on this guy because we came from the same background. Like I can't even say, oh, he had a silver spoon. We went to the same high school. I can't even say his house was better than mine. We was on the same block. So they're just gonna hate on you just to hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like being around those people, it just drags you down.
They're going to
Just
tell you
drags you
you've
down.
changed.
You know what I'm
There's
saying?
going to be a time where, okay, maybe you don't go out as much because you're so focused on the craft. And that's happening.
Yeah.
That happened. I had to lose so many friends, man, because all I did back in, I'm 24 now.
Mhm.
Back when I just turned 18, 19, 20, I just went to the bar every weekend. I just, I played video games on the weekend. I had a job. Like I worked 40 hours. I was fucking miserable. Like I didn't feel content. Now, like, sure, nothing's really changed, you know? I'm still hitting the gym. I just don't drink as much. But there's that purpose, right?
Exactly.
That I'm actually building something.
I really feel bad for the people
Yeah.
who don't have a purpose or a goal.
Yeah.
Like I really can't like no diss. Like I feel like the world does need teachers and doctors and all that stuff, of course. But even that's a goal in itself. But I feel bad for the people who just like work a job 40 hours and then their free time they just loafed. Because it's like you can do that every once in a while, it makes sense. But like when you do that every day in 5 years, how will your life look? The exact same.
If
And
every
that's
day looks the same,
thought.
bro, like then what's the point?
That's a
right?
frightening thought to me.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah. You know,
I would,
wake
like-
up one day and you're still the same.
Yeah.
Like, that's frightening, man. I just,
Same amount of money in your account.
yeah.
You know, LeBron
Same-
clip.
Same
It's like
mentality.
all those people that been hating on me, they gotta wake up and do the same job they did yesterday. They gotta
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
you know?
like trolls that hate, man, like, sure, I get judgy. Don't
love
get me
it.
wrong. Like, I'm guilty of it because I'll look at someone and be like, huh.
Naturally, yeah.
Like, I'm a fucking hypocrite because I'll scroll through social media. I see someone trying, like, oh, what's this guy doing? And I think it's because I'm jealous. That's
Mhm.
because it's not a good mode of thinking. It's like I'm unhappy that I'm thinking that way. I'm not in a good place. When I'm in a good place, when I'm mentally fine, when I'm secure, I see someone trying and I go, wow, good for him. I'm gonna
Yeah.
support him. I don't think
That's real.
anyone
I can't lie.
who is in the comments, or even if they're thinking about tearing you down or not supporting you, they may say they're supporting you, but deep inside they're actually wanting you to go down. They're not healthy. You know?
Yeah.
It's like the same as
They're in the comments.
it's the same
that
as
you're the one
food,
out
bro.
there.
It's like I heard this thing where the material you absorb online, it's the same as food. I mean, you could either just feed your brain junk food,
Mhm.
like just I don't want to shit on Nelk, but like, yeah, like just kind of those Nelk videos,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
pranksters type, or you could look up mindsets, or you could look up how to actually improve in your craft.
You know, I noticed something too. Like I used to do the same thing as you. Like I see someone
Yeah.
working on some
Yeah.
shit, and I'd be just like, my initial reaction is just on some like hating shit. You feel me? And then I got up off my ass, started doing shit for myself. You know what I mean? Started making
it's actually
videos,
tough.
started XYZ and everything. It's like not only was it tough, but it's like I got good at it quick. You know what I mean? Then I was watching someone make a video, and their video could have been better than mine. But I'm like, oh word, this guy, he awesome shit too. Word, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. Like I wasn't even phased by that shit. You know what I mean? But I can't lie though. Like I'm talking a lot about how like haters this and haters that. I'm the biggest hater, bro. I swear.
Yeah.
I love the game. I feel like it's part of the game, and I love the game.
Part
You
of
know what I
the
mean?
game,
Like I
man.
love when I post a video and someone dislike that, or someone comments on some bullshit.
Oh, feed
I
me
love
more.
that.
That
I
makes
love
that fires me
You know what
up.
I'm saying?
eh?
I need
Yeah.
that, bro. Because I swear, like I'm gonna screenshot it.
Yeah.
5 years from now, post it on my story and at you.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
have you know Goggins, David Goggins.
No.
He's like this big ultra runner, and he's like Navy SEAL, and very well accomplished. He's big in the self-improvement space. He records his haters' comments and listens to it instead of music while he's
Yeah.
running.
That's some shit. That's some shit I can't lie.
He runs
Yo.
like he runs while he's reading his hate comments,
Yeah.
and it fuels him up.
That's what's
Like, and
up.
he's-
I'm gonna start doing that. I can't
It's
lie.
like those.
I'm gonna start doing
it's like
that.
those voicemails. Like you ever like those intros of like when rappers make songs of like their ex like screaming at them as like the
Yeah.
intro.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? I'm gonna start doing that, yo. I can't lie. Like I'm actually these days. I genuinely do feel like I'm better than like a lot of y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just
good.
a lot of other like
Good.
artists, rappers, like whether big or like, you know what I'm saying? Like any level, I feel like I'm better than a lot of people. It's just a fact of like I gotta prove it to them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's really like I
And
walk
then
around
gets,
like
Like it depends like where proof is.
yeah,
Like, too.
a
Like,
lot of people will run their mouth. Like you could come into a room and you could just be super confident and you could tell people about all your dreams and ambitions.
Mhm.
And then once they realize that it's all facade, if there's no evidence backed up for that, it's all just talk.
exactly.
If you're not willing to walk the walk, if you're just all talk, then there's nothing. It's all a
Mhm.
delusion then.
Exactly, yeah.
That's delusion versus reality.
And I
the
learned that
proof
at
is
a
in
young
the
age.
work. Yeah, the proof is all in the work.
Yeah, I
Like,
learned that at a young age too. It's like, especially those things that you really hold in high regard, like those big dreams on some
Yeah.
shit, gotta keep them close and don't tell nobody at all. Because
Yeah.
if you tell somebody, you're gonna sound cocky and confident on some shit, right? Or like overconfident, right? But I can't lie, like I'll walk into a room and I'll feel like 5 rappers there. I feel like I'm the best one here. Or I'm scrolling on IG and I'm seeing like some random rapper. I feel like I'm the best one. But it's like, just because I feel like that, I know that he doesn't know that. So then I'll hop in the stew right after that and say, okay, I gotta prove something. You know what I mean? And every song, every time I hop in, you know what I'm saying? I gotta prove something. And I feel like that motivation, the hate, the love, the game, I love that whole cat and mouse game of trying to be better than the next person and that person trying to be better than you. So I got this one friend, Boy Wonder in Calgary, actually. He's like, you watch Naruto? You know, like Kakashi Sensei and Guy Sensei type of relationship. That's like me and him. It's like he'll show me 5 songs. I'll say, word, bet. I'll get in the studio, make 5 more. I'll send it to him. He's like, all right, bet. Let's get back to it.
you need that though.
Yeah, I
You
need. Like, I love
Y'all
the game.
push each other.
Yeah.
Is your energy always like this?
Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
yes.
dude, it's like it hypes me up. When people see the passion in people's eyes, like when leadership gravitates towards those who can come into a room and say what they think, and people believe it, even if what all you're saying is BS.
Mhm.
As long as you say them with confidence, with
Oh,
passion,
shit.
people will believe you.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
You know?
That's been a reoccurring thing in my
Yeah.
life recently, bro.
Yeah.
A couple people have told me like, yo, Timmy, like you're really good. Like the one thing that you're really good at doing is just talking shit
Yeah.
and getting people inspired.
Bro, because
You know what I mean?
Bro, fake it till you make it.
I can't lie.
bro, I'm usually that guy, you
Yeah.
know, but I'm saying it to you now.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, dude, it's
Nah.
definitely keep that attitude up, man. We
I
need
can't lie.
more visionaries.
We're actually we're planning this one like
Well, I
little
brought him here,
little collaboration, right? With like a bunch of different like like artists, like poets, dancers, like models, like what else we got?
Photographers, videographers.
Just a bunch of like, we're just a big collaboration on some shit. Can't speak too much on it, you know what I'm saying? But it's coming soon.
Dude,
But,
I'm excited.
And that one, like we have a team, one team handling one part of it, another team handling another part of it, another team doing another thing. My main job is just like kind of the overhead in a sense of like the small little details. But then also it's just talking to like the different people to collaborate them. Cause I feel like if you ask me to design some clothes or you ask me to set up some type of visual art, I'm the wrong guy for that, right? But if you ask me to get people inspired on a vision, on a goal, on a dream that we can all share collectively,
actor.
like I'm just the guy to hop on a phone call.
You know who to
for-
talk to. That's
You know
the
what I'm
thing.
saying?
Right?
Yeah.
I was talking about it with Aarsh earlier.
Mhm.
I just set up my 5-year high school reunion.
Word.
So even, you could seek, message
that?
me. I hosted it at this place called Y Community Hall,
Mhm.
and there was 341 kids that graduated at our year, and I did a bunch. 90% of the workload was
Mhm.
me, like reaching out to people,
That's crazy.
making sure there's the rules in place, the bartender,
Mhm.
the cost, the date and time, the venue,
Mhm.
everything. So much work,
Is that
but
dream?
it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
like the getting the music equipment, kind of the speakers. I just had this thought, and I was just like having a chilling with the homie,
Mhm.
and just what would happen if I did this? Like I just insert idea, and like it's crazy to some people. Haha, like that's so much
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And I just said, fuck it.
Let's do it.
That's
I
how this
just
came
did
to
it.
be.
Shit,
Yeah,
what
it's
were
yeah,
we
yeah,
doing?
just
We were
chatting
shooting
shit.
Yeah.
the Woe Jamal video. Actually, it was the last day of shooting. We're driving in the car, we're all lit
Yeah.
on some bullshit, right? This
Yeah.
guy's like, yo, bro, I really want to do like an idea like this. I said, word? No, but he was like, oh, I want to do an idea like this, but it's like, I kind of been putting it off because I don't really have the facilities to do some shit like that, right? I said, word, bro, we can make it happen. That was like a month ago or some shit.
It was
And then
like
the
a
past-
month.
Now it's just you
now it's
and now
message
it's
a bunch
like-
of
lie.
people.
it's
If I
actually
showed you the
happening.
roster, you'd be like, damn, that's a lot of followers.
That's awesome.
You know
And
what
here's
I
the
mean?
thing. I was talking to him. I'm like, a lot of people, like when you say, like when you talk about it, like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, we should do that. It's always should,
Should.
right? But like, it never like actually takes off, right? And then like, I hit you up again, and now it's been like only 2 weeks of like inception of like, and now it's been taken off, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
As simple as
it's
that.
getting everyone
People are
together.
scared, man. People are scared. Like when you present them an idea, Arsh, I'm sure everybody's got these when we talk about ideas, it's like that mental masturbation, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's, whoa, that's such a cool idea. Like I have this, I run marathons here and there, do little ultras, and I get, I try to get some people in on it. I've convinced 3 people, and it's so, a lot of people say,
I can't lie.
You could, man. You could. If you ever want to, hit me up. But I'm sure you brought that. Is that the first time you've brought that idea to someone?
Well, like, it's hard because like I don't really talk about it to someone. Like I can't bring it up to people that I can't see their drive. Like,
okay.
I'm gonna be honest here, like it was the first time, but like I'm saying that because, you know, when I saw you working on the video, like when we were working on that, like at the Foundry, and I was like, yo, this is someone that has the drive to, like, you know, make something big happen, and like is willing to put in the work, is willing to actually get people together, right? Like
got that passion.
Exactly. Like you got me onto the video, and like remember what I said? I was like maybe I'm not the guy for this, right? But you're like, you know what?
Yeah, I remember. I'm like, yo, you trying to be an extra in this video? He's like, or trying to come for a shoot. He thought it was modeling, so he's like, yeah, I'm down. Like an hour before the shoot happens, I'm like, yo, we need the extra. Are you on your way or some shit? He's like, oh, extra. I don't know if I'm the guy for that. I tell you, bro, I was some bullshit. I
put on a fake shiesty and started.
It's fascinating too, because you 2 met at the U of A. Hey?
Yeah.
I also met this guy at the U of A. It was through a mutual friend, and this would have never happened if I didn't show up that day, right? Or if I wasn't friend with the mutual friend.
I think about that a lot too.
Yeah, exactly.
If you guys didn't have the courage, kind of to hold up a conversation, I think. I'm pretty religious. I'm a believer of everything happens for a reason, and I think that there's always a place for us to do something and to put yourself out there. That's kind of following the path of most resistance. That's kind of the best recipe to make the vision that you have a reality.
Exactly. I love bringing people together and stuff. I started to cut you up, but like I was saying, like a year and a half ago, I didn't know either of you, so it was like this is kind of like surreal, right? In a way,
bro. Like me too, dude. The people I've met now in the recent years, couple years, just by putting myself out there, not being ashamed, because I still struggle with that. I struggle with a lot of shame. I struggle with a lot of doubt. But it's what you said of just walking in the room and feeling like you're a big
really
shot.
That dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and you have to. It's kind of that cognitive mindset in your head of that. What do you tell yourself? It's gonna become real. And the moment I tell myself that, okay, I'm gonna go up to this person, just have a conversation.
This is like, it's beyond, like, it's not auto suggestion. It's not manifestation. Like, it's beyond that. Like, I truly feel like when I tell you in the bottom of my heart, I truly feel like if I walk into a room and there's 10 rappers, I'm better than all y'all. And even if we all play our songs, we vote, we do a competition, and I lose, even if I lose, I'm still thinking, okay, it's just not God. God just said it ain't time yet. You feel me?
That's
it's just
me
not
on
the
the
right.
basketball
It's
court.
an effort based. It's like you look for things that you could have improved on. Oh, was it my tone of voice? Was it kind of the pitch of that? I was going too slow. Maybe the word, I could have replaced that with that. A lot of people don't have that mentality, man.
I was at church last Sunday, and he said, or 2 Sundays ago, and he was saying something about faith and everything, faith and hope. And he said, like, hope is like wanting something to happen. It's like hoping that it will happen in a sense, right? Wishing something will happen, right? But faith is that belief, like real strong faith, that mustard seed faith is that belief that it's already happened. Like God's already done it for you. It's just a factor of like, when is he going to give it to you, right? And then if you think that you're not ready, if God's trying to give it to you, he going to make you ready in the moment. So it's like, I'm really moving around life, like whether or not I'm good enough, whether or not I have the right words to say, or I can act the right way on some shit, or whether or not anything that people could say about me, it's just a factor of whenever God's ready to give it to me. And if I'm ready or not, I'm gonna be ready in that moment. And when I think about shit that way, it's like, you really couldn't tell me if I make this song, it's not like, I don't move you. If you say that, you lying. You feel me? Like, I'm bugging, you thugging. You feel me? Like, it's crazy.
Everyone's
and with each passing song, you improve.
Exactly.
I think like everyone's like, even if like you feel like you're saying, if like someone's voting you down, like, and like everyone says like you lose in like a competition of like 10 rappers, right? Like, you know, in like your head, like, no, I know what I'm capable of, right? Like,
I dare somebody go bar for bar with me.
Exactly, right?
You know what I mean?
It's me. Like, it's me when I'm on the basketball court, right? Like if I lose, it's like, you know what? Like, you won this time, but it's not because of like, you know, you're better than me. That like overall, it's just like, it's just a moment. It's just like, I know what I'm capable of, right? next time it's not going to be the same result, right?
I think we have to experience those down points to be able to realize the bigger picture. I think I'm reading this book. It's by this guy named Viktor Frankl. It's called The Man's Search for Meaning. And kind of like, I think for suffering for me was always kind of like, I was atheist for like, I hit middle school and then high school, just thought I was kind of better than everyone. And I lost faith and I lost kind of that because I was bitter because this thing happened to me. Oh, parents divorced, or oh, this happened to me. This girl rejected me. I turn on the news. There's all this war in Syria and in Ukraine and all that stuff. And I just became bitter. And then I gave myself up to a higher purpose. I didn't even know what that meant at the time. I just go, okay, God, if you're listening, help me out. And what happened was doors started opening. Like I call it could just be, sure, okay, I'm going to make the argument, sure, maybe it's all fake. Let's say this is all just in my head, I'm delusional.
Yeah.
But if I was right, if we're all right, there's this quote by Pascal, this guy named Pascal, and if you win everything. If you lose nothing. And that belief alone, that faith, that kind of that drive to keep going, to have and I would extend this to even your purpose and that drive to keep going within that just the belief aspect. We all have it in us. And a lot of people who don't have that, I feel bad for them. And they fall into this nihilism, kind of cynicism.
This abyss, for real.
Yeah.
Right. I think like if you sit down and write your biggest dream on paper, you know what I mean? If you write it out and you read it and you look at it, and if you think that it's attainable, like if you're looking at it and you really think, wow, this dream right here, I can do it, you're not dreaming high enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that level of like pride, confidence, ambition that you really need to be able to walk around with on some shit, right? And then obviously, whatever religious orientation you are, but or higher power in a sense, right? I'm Christian as well, so it's like I just at a certain point, when I started this, my main goal was just to be able to do it and make money off of it, where I can pay my bills and make music full time. I didn't care about being like the big success, Drake, whatever it is. I still don't, but like, you know what I'm saying? Then I started thinking like, okay, if God's involved, then who could really stop me on some shit, right?
Yeah.
And then when I had that kind of revelation in a sense, right? Nothing changed within me or like externally, but the music just got much better, right? Like it just got drastically better. I started meeting people who it's like, this person knows this person who's on XXL Freestyles, and this person's a producer for this famous rapper, and this girl that I know I met on the street on some shit, just chopped it up with you, kind of find out you got like 100 million on IG or some shit, right? And it's like, I got famous number of contacts on my phone on some shit, and it's like, how the hell that happened in the past like 4 or 5 months, just out the blue,
it's
right?
that belief, that internal belief.
It's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like you definitely do attract, like motion attracts motion on some shit, right? Like ever since I got up off my ass, I'm now meeting a bunch of people who've been off their ass, right?
Yeah.
And I was lying down, all I was just around a bunch of idle dudes. That's why we named the company Never Been Idle, because we believe that look, we just never once in my life
definitely keep me updated on that event, on kind of what you're both doing. I see you're still modeling a bunch. I'm happy to see that, man, because I think
I can't. We got a photo shoot on the 23rd. You should come out for it. Just to vibe
that'd be
and
dope.
Shit. Yeah.
I think there's a saying, a rising tide lifts all boats too. I think if we talked about ego, we talked about kind of that jealousy we feel, and that's not good, but to kind of combat that and to use that energy in a positive light, instead of doing that, you direct your energy to helping the others. And you could think about it in a selfish way where I'm going to benefit something by helping this guy, but you both rise together.
Yeah.
And it's so, sure, it may be, see, I still don't like that mentality, but still, it's still beneficial than tearing other people down, because the more you add to the water, the higher all of you get. So even with the event, Aarsh let you in, then even with the music video, you opened up doors for Aarsh, and here now we're in a podcast because Aarsh invited you on.
You know what I mean?
And it's just one day
we're all like-minded people.
Yeah,
I think that's actually like that's the reason why we're doing this big collaboration too, is because we noticed like the problem with the city, not even the city, the entire western part of Canada, is that like there's no culture out here. There's no environment. You go to Texas, you go to New York, you go to Toronto even, as a famous artist on tour, you could stop at like 15 podcasts, a couple radio shows to promote your album. There's a bunch of like locations in the city where it's like famous people will be going. We don't got that out here, right? Like, where are you gonna go on Beercade or some shit, right? Like it's whack. So I noticed that it's like, okay, I'm an artist, I'm a rapper, I need a producer. this guy's a producer over there. He needs someone to rap on his beats, right? So why are we not working together? You know what I mean? Same thing for the videographers, for the managers, for the marketers, for the models. You need clothes to wear. Now brand need models to wear their clothes, right? So it's like, I feel like we're just all trying to figure it out on our ones instead of being connected on some shit, right? And that's why, like you said, like it's not the best mentality, but I feel like it's like probably my favorite one to use, because it's like my entire circle of people that I know, right? All the bums, all the rich people, all the success stories, and everybody that I ever meet in my life, right? That's my network. He has a whole network himself too, and you have your whole network.
We all have our
right?
ecosystems. If we combine
exactly, if we combine,
hey, do you have
indestructible.
this guest that come on? You got you know anyone? Boom, and then hey, you know any videographer? Boom, you know anybody that is a swimmer, because just for my music video, I need a swimmer just to make sure that this line for this one scene.
You know, there's a saying: you're only 5 handshakes away from meeting the president, and I never really understood that saying up until like, I seen this one video that kind of broke it down. It's really just math behind it, right? Like if I have 42 friends, I think it is, that don't know any of your 42 friends and his 42 friends, right? And then there's 6 of us. It takes 6 people to connect yourself to anybody in the world, right? That's literally how it goes. So you can really you can meet, get connected. I'm probably connected to Drake by somehow, and I don't even know about it. Yeah. That shit, right? So it's just a factor of getting those connections out in the open for everybody to use and exploit, which I feel like is just the symbiosis.
The point. That's the whole point of this. Right?
I think we're all still just so young too, and you look at all the top artists. 30s, they're 40s. I mean, there are kind of, you got your like prodigies who just are talented, relentless right up from the get-go, but they're very rare. For the most part, you look at Kanye, right?
Yeah.
He was a joke for the longest time, man. Like a joke, but he just didn't stop. And he met all these people, and he was relentless, and he never discounted people who wanted to listen, and he accepted everyone. Yeah. Whether it be the bomb or whether it be this person just handing out mixtapes.
Exactly, yeah.
But then now he got his break, because that one time, all it takes is that one time.
All it takes is one time.
You meet that one person, shake that one hand, can lead
and you're lit. Next thing you know, you're signing contracts with 15 figures on them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like it's probably what I mean too when I say I'm the biggest hater, because like I do see a lot of like the quote unquote success stories. And it's just like, you guys are not prepared for those like opportunities, right? Someone said that luck is just preparation meets opportunity. And like a lot of people got lucky, and I can tell you weren't prepared. I'm listening to your tracks and I'm seeing your work and I'm looking at your clothes and I'm thinking, nothing really special about you. You just got the opportunity earlier, but like you never really prepare for it. And I'm seeing the kind of downfall in a sense where it's like 5 years from now, what are you going to do to stay on top on some shit, right? And that's why like even off the get-go, I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm having trouble getting it off the ground as much, at least in terms of like numerical values, because my music has always been like very artistic in a sense. Every song has a motif for a meaning. Very rarely do I hop on a song on some bullshit just to talk about money, women, girls, and violence, and I never do that shit, right? Every song is either pointing to God or pointing to like inwards on some like self-reflection on some shit, right?
Yeah.
People aren't doing that these days, and it just irked me so much to see a trash rapper popping, thinking that he ill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or
like,
trash anything.
I see that kind of the message that's instilling into the next generation too. It's like, sure, I'll listen to some Lil Pump here and there.
Yeah. Every once in a while,
just literally just throw them on, just
but
brain
it's
dead.
playing a Lil Durk on the way to your 9-to-5 job is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me. Stimulate your soul, bro.
But dude, for kids that don't really ponder life, because I know you're very introspective. Both of you are very introspective. That's probably why you guys get along. You ask the deep questions and you have this kind of the drive. And even when you guys suffer, when you experience that negativity, you add meaning to it. But what about
That's a bar?
Yeah.
That's a bar. I'm gonna put that in the
I'm
song.
telling you, this guy's intellectual as fuck.
When you experience that negativity, you put meaning to it. That's a bar, yo.
What about the kid that doesn't do that? Not in depth. They see a little pump. They see kind of like, even like 50 Cent's pretty credible, but they talk about like women, money, drugs, killing people, and they just absorb that. Like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, they don't think much about it. Maybe their parents aren't around. They just absorb that. Like, what is that? And that's what they listen to on their way to
this
their
shit
work.
Gets so much deeper than just rap, than just art, right? Like that's probably for another day, a different topic. But like I was just reading this article recently about how like the way that hip hop has kind of changed over the years. It used to be something awesome, like lifting the black community, very political too. And in our recent times, it's just like WAP and XYZ and shit, right? And part of the reason why that is because it's like when like the riots that used to happen over like people getting murdered and killed, at those times, like the number one song would have been like a very like political song that like lifts black what's the word, racial self-esteem, awesome stuff. And then now the current times they're trying to like push a different narrative, because if they can make the black youth to not really be like awake and aware to like the fact that like just these killings and murderings is happening and the way that the system's being oppressed in a sense, then no one's gonna revolt. You feel me? And that's why I feel like it's very hard for like artists such as myself who kind of make music more on some meaningful type of sense rather than just talking about some, like, it'd be so easy for me. I've done it before too on some just for jokes. As I said earlier, I just make songs like just to write some shit down.
You can make it sound real good by not saying anything.
Yeah, I've made some crazy ass songs. Funny enough, even Everybody Dies, like, that one still has a meaning to it, but that was just me. I was bullshitting, bro. I
was listening to that. It actually made me think.
Yeah. That one, like, I put a little bit of something to it, but like I was bullshitting. It was a freestyle. I wrote that shit in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the one song that the label hit me up about. Right? Out of all my repertoire of songs where I'm talking about God, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
It's the one where I just freestyled in 5 minutes.
I like the part where you whisper, everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was just me like, oh, it sound good right here.
Yeah.
Say some stupid shit. It's good song.
I know for Aarsh and I, we grew up in, a lot of people say Sure White Park. We don't really experience, there's no black community here.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like in Edmonton? Because for like a lot of people that go to Sherwood Park, it's like really foreign to us.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go into that.
I mean, to be fair, like I'm from Calgary originally, so I've just kind of moved up to Edmonton for U of A.
Okay.
So off of what I've seen so far, it's still very similar. I say it's pretty similar in Calgary and in Edmonton. It just, I feel like we glorify a very derogatory black stereotype in a sense, right? You go to these like functions and parties that be happening and everybody dressed in a certain way, certain type of chains on, pants dropping all the way low.
We just saw one like last weekend, like,
and it's supposed to be the lit niggas there. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the people who are awesome shit popping, who making the money, who getting the girls, right? And it's like, I'm looking at y'all, I'm like, y'all look goofy. Like, bro, you in Edmonton. You from Edmonton. You dress like you came from Compton. Chill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's because we're glorifying this lifestyle that none of us have really lived before. You know what I mean? Even like the most dangerous spot in Alberta don't compare to like an average spot in Detroit. So it's like, why are we really feeling and bumping so much with this NLE chopper type of music and this rah rah rah? When it's like, bro, like, I know your house. You got like 6 rooms. You feel me? So it's like,
you live in a suburban household down the street from my suburban household.
Your mother's a nurse. Yeah, your dad's an engineer.
Exactly, right? So it's like, there definitely is a lot more black. I've observed a blacker culture out here in Edmonton than I did in Calgary since I moved. At the same time, it's like, I wouldn't say it's the black culture that I'd subscribe to. I don't feel like it's very uplifting in a sense. I know I'm talking about the general like consensus on quote unquote what it means to be black out here. Not everyone's obviously on some bullshit, but just the general like what's popping.
Like, we got a pretty diverse kind of trio here.
I'm saying,
What city are you?
United Nations.
I'm Indian.
You Indian?
Yeah.
Okay. Filipino?
Nigerian.
Yeah. Dude, that's, man, we're bringing the world together.
Bro.
And racism here.
That's how you should.
Yeah, bro. I think the even with the Filipinos that do come to Canada, a lot of them forget the roots. I find. I don't know if it's like that for the Indians or people from Nigeria, and they think that they're white all of a sudden. You know what I mean? I think a lot of Filipinos I've met really forget the roots of kind of where their family sacrificed, leaving the entire thing that they've known, and then coming here barely knowing English. My dad, he suffered tremendously. My mom, and they have had to create a new network. And I see some Filipinos, they come here and they just squander their lives. They kind of, it's like the gaming every night, and it's like, bro, like your dad,
your mom and dad
processed so much, had to eat so much crap from other people. And back even my dad came here back 2005 2006, there was still a bunch of like prejudice and racism, and he had to deal with that. And now it's better now, but like a lot of immigrants forget the sacrifices, and that's on that kind of the belief where I will never forget where I came from. You know what I mean?
I feel like even if you broke in Canada, you still like top 20% in the world.
Yeah,
of
that
like,
gratitude.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's crazy to me how you could be top 20% in the world in anything and then not be like, okay, I need to be a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like, my parents got me out of the jungle. I'm gonna get them into like the penthouse. You feel me? Like, that's the type of mindset I'm on. You feel me? Like, I really feel to be average for me is a failure. I can't lie.
And that's another thing I wanted to say is like, like a lot of immigrants who like kind of come and like they bring like people like you and I like you know they don't necessarily like know the culture. It's like we do stuff like this. We kind of go into our creative ventures because we have the opportunity for that. If my well, I was born in Saudi, right? But like let's say like if I was growing up in India where my parents are from, like would I be able to do the same thing right now? If you were in the Philippines, would you be able to do this? If you were still in Nigeria, would you be able to make
No,
music?
probably
right?
not. Would probably
Right.
be doing the same thing that they're
doing,
wanted to
right?
do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like not to like harp on anyone that like follows that path. Like obviously, like you said, we do need like those doctors and engineers and lawyers and all those people. But that is like if that is your dream and aspiration,
I
then you
respect
do
it.
that,
Yeah.
right? Like, you
Otherwise-
can't follow your parents' dreams and aspirations because like they're bringing you into the new land, into like a place of opportunity, just to do like you know the same thing that they can do like back in their homelands. Like I don't understand that.
Like, yeah.
What's even more disrespectful is when they stay up till 3-4 a.m. playing League of Legends or 2K.
Yeah.
It's
you
like,
know what I mean?
like, bro, like you are so
the phone in your
blessed.
pocket is stronger than the computer that put motherfuckers on the moon.
Yeah.
And you playing
Yeah.
games. You playing Angry Bird.
yeah, yeah.
I just at the Fox just like, yo, what?
Yeah.
Go make some money, bro. I can't lie. Like, bro, this life is not, it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak.
No, it's not, man. I think I'm a believer of we are all equal as humans,
Mhm.
but life is not fair. Like the hardest, we live in a
1000% believe that.
meritocracy. We live in a capitalist society where the more you put in, that's what you're gonna get out.
Mhm.
Like the market is not gonna be nice to you. It's not emotional.
Yeah.
What you put into the
It's
world,
all a game.
yeah, what you put in the world, if it's good, then people will like it. More people will listen. More people will take in and tell their friends. If it's bad, it'll just go into kind of the chasm with all the rest
Exactly,
of the millions of
And no one
dreams.
sees that shit. That's my,
Yeah.
I got this one friend, he's trying to do content so hard, but he's always like stopping himself from posting because he's like, oh, the video wasn't good or XYZ. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, if you drop this video and it blows up, you're rich. So it's like, who really cares? If it don't blow up, ain't nobody seen it. So who really
cares?
cares? You know what I'm saying? So like, really, as you said before, you have everything to win and nothing to lose. So like, I'm rolling that dice. You
Yeah.
feel me? I got this one bar too. Like, I realized that all of life is a game. Every relationship is transactional in a sense, right? And once I started like realizing it that way, I was able to like play the game a little bit more and like start to win it at times too. You know, I got this one bar in a song. I said, am I hurting myself? Do I tell myself lies? Mr. Not giving a damn with a stake in his eye. 50 Shades of Grey. I learned young to play with that line. You feel me? Because it's like, life is, as you said, life isn't fair. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's up to you to really take that line, that gray line, that's all the boundaries, and really dance between it and make something out your life. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Life is about meaning. It's about finding a purpose on some shit.
Pretty
People
dope.
are lacking that.
That's
I recognize
awesome,
that line. I was like,
Um,
yo, that sounds familiar.
Learning how to lie to someone's face through your teeth with a smile on your face and they're not even knowing, taught me the importance of the truth, right? And that's where that song came from. That one line, "Everybody dies," bro. I was like, I might tell a joke, but I'll never tell a lie. That's really like, I say that shit to people, they don't take me serious because I'll never lie to you. I'll tell a joke, you know what I'm saying? I might say some shit that's not entirely true, but I'm laughing, so you should know I'm joking on some shit. And if you don't, that's your fault. But yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that think that they're good,
Mhm.
but they could never see themselves be bad.
Exactly.
They could never like say something mean to someone. They could never do an act of violence. But for me, since I know I'm capable, I know I could do it, but I just choose not to. That's real power.
Exactly.
And I used to, in elementary and middle school and high school, I was kind of mean to some kids, and I was a bully. And
I heard,
I've apologized to lots of those kids, and I've hurt them. But I know what
That's
it's
huge,
like.
though,
to-
like-
what's
Yeah.
that?
Well, that's huge because like no one would think about like apologizing like a bunch like
I did.
people
And a
don't
lot of
think
them,
like they're
a lot
mean
of
as
them
kids.
didn't take it though. A lot of them are still kind of.
That's on them. That's not on you.
I hurt them, and I
mean, that
I
should cross the
abused my
barrier.
power.
Yeah.
But you know, I know what it's like to want to hurt someone, and it's not coming from a place of good. You know?
Yeah.
It's not
You
coming
know-
from a place of being nice.
I think it was Jordan Peterson who said like, a man must learn how to fight and be dangerous and then learn how to never use it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that was like, whoa, when I heard that shit. Like, I must really learn. Like, I had to learn how to really lie. I was reading books on like manipulation at a certain point, just trying to like, I learned Machiavelli's The Prince. that shit changed my life. You know what I'm saying? I really learned how to like get whatever I wanted and squeeze every last drop at everybody. And now I just never use it. Right. And I feel like I do get a lot of like, the general theme or vibe people get from me is I'm very authentic on some shit. It's because it's like, I understand the opposite. You know what I mean?
You ever meet those people where one day you trust them with all your heart, but then the next it's like, was this person joking? Is he lying? Does he want the best for me? And those are the most dangerous people because
You never know.
they give you never know what they're thinking. And it's like kind of that intermittent reward where, and a lot of people stay with these people because they think it's like such a good feeling to be liked by a person that's unpredictable, but they're liars, man. I've met so many people that put up an image and that's kind of it's a facade. What they say, they're just saying to please you, to get on your side. And then once you're not good enough, not once you've hit the downfall, they don't want anything to do with you.
Once you served their purpose, it's just
exactly,
like,
I think authenticity
I keep
is
all
amazing.
my friends. I don't trust anybody who isn't capable of doing something terrible to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean like I don't give them the secrets. I mean, I just mean like someone who isn't capable of really doing great evil to me. I don't trust somebody because that means you're just too niche and too naive with life, right? You couldn't properly show love to me if you don't know how to properly, what makes me like properly angry. You know what I mean? That makes any sense. Like it's a fine line, you know, 50 Shades of Grey. I learned how to play with that line. But like the importance, when you tell someone the truth, knowing that you could lie to them and they would never find out, that's real love. You know what I mean? When you show someone compassion, knowing that you could get mad at them and then manipulate them and gaslight them into like thinking that they're the one at fault, that's real love. You feel me? I don't trust people who aren't capable of doing both sides. 'Cause I feel like you're just the well that is your personality just isn't
because they
deep.
know you well. It's like you have to get in a place where like if you're vulnerable around someone where they know all your ins and outs and they choose not to exploit that, then you know that they're really about you. Like they have your back, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Because then it's like if someone doesn't know your weak points, like then like how are they gonna like know you're strong? Like they can't do anything about it.
I'm a firm believer too, is with it doesn't matter what type of relationship it is. It could be platonic with your father, mother, your buddies, your gym buddies, the people you play sports with, your partner. There's gonna come a time where you guys are gonna come to a disagreement, and are they gonna use your vulnerabilities, your weaknesses, to hurt you, or do you actually try to find a solution to the problem? And there's also, did you reveal those prior to that, or were you so scared that they were gonna hurt you once this time happens? And that's how I know someone's real. Is first off, you're able to be truthful to someone. Like both of you, not only can you celebrate. Jordan Peterson talks about a real friend is one where they celebrate in your achievements and they despair in your failures. And that's really a foundation of the friendship. And you can add kind of your own kind of values to that and kind of codes and ethics. But for me, I firmly believe that's the kind of the foundation. But to make that deeper, to make it the next level of friendship is when you guys get into an argument or disagreement, how do they play that out? Like how quickly are they able to bounce back and make it up to you? And it's little things too. It's not just like, it's nothing big. It doesn't have to be big. It could just be being late. It could just be, making that one comment. How did they approach that? Did they actually care that they disrespected you? Or was it like, hey, get over it, buddy? You know what I mean? And I don't think it's not being too sensitive. It's just like that respect.
And I feel like we all have our own principles and morals. Yeah. And I operate off principalities myself. So like it could be a very minor thing that you could do that really might just irk the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. And I'm validated to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Obviously within reason, of course. But I told like every girl I've ever chatted to on some shit, right? Or every like friend I have asking for relationship advice, whatever it is. It doesn't matter how much you fight in a relationship. It's how you argue. You know what I mean? When some shit pops off, or y'all yelling, "Oh, F you, bitch," like that one Kendrick song, or is it on some, "Hey, you did this, I didn't like it." You know what I'm saying?
We cry together.
Yeah, we cry together. Yeah.
They just swear words.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is that how you put it? Y'all talk shit through, right? We could argue every day, all day, talking shit through, and I would love that relationship because I'm getting to know someone really deeply. But if we're just, F you, that's why your music ain't shit. That's why your dick small. Like, I'm off of that shit, yo.
It's like, are you really trying to like solve the problem, or are you just trying to like
hurt me?
hurt each other?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. It's like there's nothing adding to that.
Yeah.
You're just trying to tear me down. There's nothing constructive
trying to hurt
about
me.
that.
And you can never
And-
let someone try to hurt you.
I have a question for both of you, because I was like, I'm thinking like there has to be like a balance between this, because for me, I realized like over the past year, I've kind of done some soul searching, and I realized like if you kind of get rid of that fear of like someone using your vulnerabilities against you, because like essentially it's not, especially like as men, like it's not healthy to be like locked up like all the time and try to be like, you know, like hiding everything. Like people are like, we're taught not to be like as vulnerable because like, you know, people will use it against you. But then if you have those people around you who are like, who know your ins and outs, and you're scared that they're going to use it against you, you can like get rid of that fear by like detaching. And it's like, okay, like for me personally, it's like if I give you like the keys to like, you know, like what could hurt me and all that, and you exploit it, like I have no problem just like getting you out of my life. I have no problem removing you from my circle. Like I'm just detached from people. Like I don't care. Like I have moved on from people like hundreds and hundreds of friends like over the course of years, because it's like, you know, if they slip up on me once,
I think
like I just don't care. But like there's obviously there's a level to that. Like you can't just like,
and that's
drop off
wearing
everybody.
it like armor too, because if you're so scared about opening up to people, and you have to be selective, you can't just do it for some random
no,
stranger.
you can't do it with
But
anybody.
you have to wear it with armor. But when you do tell people, sure, it's like something, I want to say negative, but something that they could use against you, but you also have to be proud of it. You know what I mean? Like this is you.
You got a way to like tell people.
what I've observed in my life, I used to do the same thing in a sense where it's like, as I said, like when I got up off my ass, anybody who wasn't already off the ass in my circle at the time, I just kind of cut them off, stopped moving around them, right? And I was doing that for so long. I was grinding, I was loving the hustle, XYZ and shit. But then one day I got kind of tired. I just wanted to chill. And I look at my phone, there's no one there. There's no text messages, no friends, no GPs, nothing. And I'm like, damn, like you were so focused on being closed off and keeping the right people around you that you forgot that it's like, it's okay to have some friends that are on some bullshit, right? I heard a quote that said, 30% of your friends should be where you want to be, 30% of them where you're at, and 30% of them where you were. So you can kind of remind yourself of like how the trajectory that you're on some shit, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is, that's like part of the reason why like I love the music so much, because like Drake has this one bar. He says, I put it all in the music because if I don't say it here, then I won't say it never. Something like that, right? I really express myself truly. Like a lot of things that I don't tell people out loud in conversation, I know I can say it in a song with some nuance to it, and then put it in front of the whole world, and you still wouldn't understand it, right? So I got to get it off my chest, and the people who needed to hear it heard it, but I still don't feel embarrassed by it, because it's like, you know, my favorite rapper is Childish Gambino. I discovered him like for real, maybe like 2 years ago. I seen a Camp vinyl in a record store, and like I've always known Childish Gambino and shit, so I was like, where'd I'll cop it, played it, and I started to understand like how authentic and raw he is through his music. The very last outro song, he's talking about this story where like it's from some summer camp, and there was this girl he was chatting to all camp. He liked her. He told her that he liked her. She didn't really give him an answer. He fell asleep, woke up, and it's like now everybody at camp knows like who he has a crush on, right? And like they're all making fun of him and shit, right? And he talks about how he learned from that experience that to cut out the middleman. You know what I mean? Because tell everybody all at once, because everybody can't turn around and tell everybody, because everybody already knows awesome shit, right? So not to say go out and tell all your trauma awesome shit, but it's like anything that you would tell somebody, you need to be comfortable telling everybody, because the zero isn't even a real number. It's just a placeholder. 0% doesn't exist. You and me, we cool, but there's always a chance that I could backstab you, you could backstab me. Awesome shit, right? So it's like, I know it is slightly unhealthy in a sense to keep shit locked up. You just need to find a different outlet for it rather than just confiding in someone. Because if you really are afraid of someone, if it getting out to like the masses, just don't tell nobody, right? And then just be selective of what you do tell people. And I feel like in doing that, you'll get a better understanding of how your emotions work, what makes you content in life, the best ways for you to express yourself in a healthy way. And also your friends and family around you will feel like they know you to a deep level without also you feeling the fear of them hurting you on some shit.
So it's either like tell everybody or tell nobody.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Right. And when you think
me-
about it that, sorry to cut you off, but when you think about it that way, tell everybody or tell nobody. There's certain things where it's like you really just have to get it off your chest, right? And weighing the options, tell everybody, tell nobody. Telling nobody doesn't seem feasible, right? Those are the things where you can talk to your friends about, where you can confide in them. You know what I mean?
No,
That's
we
how I make those
definitely
decisions.
revere those people that can stomach being able to tell the people the truth.
Mhm.
The truth in our psyche that's so powerful, and to be able to follow that through despite what society says. That's why we revere people like Jordan Peterson, like my boy David Goggins, and all these visionaries, even Kanye. That's why a lot of people look up to Kanye. The people, they're not scared to tell the truth for what they seem, and they may be wrong. They also accept that. And that, going back to vulnerability too, and you'd said that tell everyone or tell nobody, and kind of you have to just choose with what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's that scene with the 8 Mile with Eminem, and
Yeah,
he just,
I was thinking about that.
that very last scene where he just tells the
I am white.
Papa
I
Doc,
do live in
I
the
am
trailer
white.
park
Yeah,
with
yeah.
my mom.
There's none when you carry that with like an armor,
Mhm.
and that is you. That is, you accept that for who you are, and people gravitate towards you because they go, "Hey, I'm not alone in this world. Like, everyone's hurting in some way."
Mhm.
Whether it be their crushed dreams, whether it be some trauma, whether it be they got rejected by a girl, something, or all the above. And when you see someone who can actually go and tell everyone and actually accept it for who you are, and everybody's got varying levels of how open they are, that brings us together. The moment, the times where I'm telling the boys, "Hey man, I don't feel good about this. I'm insecure. I'm really miserable right now. I'm swimming in my mental soup of negativity, and I'm drowning. Please help me." But by just listening, they didn't even say anything, but they all, or even better, they shared also something that they're going through. It brings us together. And that's just, I know for a lot of people, they don't work that way. Just for me personally, I don't want them in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe they have the best of intentions. Maybe they just don't like that vulnerability stuff. But for me personally, that gives me power. That makes me, that
Because you're not alone.
that's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. And that's the biggest kind of filtration system for the truth. Is this is literally someone that's talking about the trauma, not stuttering or anything, or they'd be stuttering, but I could tell in their eyes that they're telling the truth. And they're telling me, they trust me. And there's kind of that friction of, okay, I could use this. I could tell other people how that'd be so funny to gain some credit, but they don't. And it's been years. Next thing you know, it's decades, and we still do the same thing. And I've got friends like that, and it's never linear. Everybody's got flaws, but we're constantly just evolving. We're constantly learning. We're constantly just
the other
finding
thing too,
the right
I wanted
people.
to add to that is that what's it called? Like, on top of like the whole tell everybody, tell nobody thing, the decision to tell nobody is also a decision to move on some shit, right? Whatever issue that you're having, if you decide that, okay, I don't really want everybody knowing about this, or I don't feel like it's that deep where I should tell people X, Y, Z, whatever your reasons is, that's also your decision that you're saying, I'm going to move on from this and just let it go. Because at the end of the day, everything is a decision, right? You could be, unless you're like clinically depressed where there's like a chemical imbalance, whatever it is, you could be sad as hell, right? You're choosing to stay sad. You know what I mean? So if you really feel like, I don't want to open up on this sadness, you must choose, you must learn how to just let go of things, right?
I feel like it's just kind of like for a lot of people, like the answers just like come to them as well, right? Like, no, obviously not everybody functions that way, but I'm a big believer in, it's like, if you have your morals on point, and like, you know, you try to do everything right with like your faith, like the answers just come to you. Like, honestly, like the solutions just like come to you at some point or another. So like,
Yeah,
you can
it's
kind of just trust the process in that sort of way.
Yeah, I think a lot of people overthink it, and they go, "Oh, this is the end of the world. This is the..." Sleep it off. You will find an answer as long as you don't lose that hope. Because I find the people that don't succeed in whatever endeavor it is, whether it be about working out, whether it be about just succeeding in school, is they give up too quickly because they do not have that hope. And the book I mentioned earlier with A Man's Search for Meaning, this guy, the author, he was a psychiatrist. He had his wife. Before being forced into a concentration camp and being under just immense pain and suffering, all he saw was death. He was getting fed a quarter of bread every day, forced to work 16 hours. He was supporting people that are with the SS guards under the Nazis regime. He was getting treated worse than dirt. But he said that the people that didn't have that hope, the people that lost it, were the ones to die off first. And then the people who told everyone that they were still brimming with excitement, they were still going, hey, by Christmas time, we're all going to go home. I heard the war's ending. Once it became that time, and there was no like actual studies and like the biomarkers that were listed in these people that died, but he saw the people that had that hope but then lost it, because once Christmas came, they died. And they were all everyone was suffering. Mm-hmm. And he found that the people that had this hope flourished and they saw it through the end. And he's so resilient, man. You guys will have to check that book out. But it's just, I love books like those because it makes me think, man, I have it good. I have in this fight with my dad, this fight with my friend, the demons inside. There's human beings out there that have gone through, I can't even imagine. And there's this quote with Sam Harris, and it goes, if you think that's the worst thing that could happen to you, that's probably a flaw of your imagination, because it's not the worst thing that could happen to you. You think that, double that by 1,000, by 1,000,000, that's the worst thing that could happen to you. But yeah, did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like people think that I think the devil's main job on earth is to have people to lose, just for people to despair. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if we have hope, as you were saying, like if there's hope, there's still a chance. But as soon as you lose hope, that's when you get into those belts of depression and those low valleys where you really feel like there's no coming out, right? And once you're there, it's very hard to get back up, right? But just maintaining that hope in a sense, right? And even bringing it back to what you said earlier, I think like the dichotomy of it is like it's something that women don't understand and men don't get, right? Because like girls will tell you take off your armor, be vulnerable on some shit, right? Which is like a lot of times that's some bullshit. I don't want to hear that. But guys will say, "Oh, keep your armor on," all that shit, right? But what guys don't understand is like that armor that you're wearing. Like, yeah, you must wear it at all times. You know what I'm saying? You can't be on the battlefield and not wear the armor. And life is a battlefield, so you got to be wearing it. But if you have the wrong mentality about it, the armor that you're in is also a cage. You know what I mean? You're locked inside from the world. Yeah. You can't experience and interact with the outside world.
Yeah. And so did you put it on? Did you put it on yourself?
Exactly.
Ideally, like no one needs their armor if everyone just put the swords down, right? But the thing is, everyone has a sword.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the thing is to learn how to like both maintain that armor around you to keep like guard your emotions, guard your heart. I got a problem having my heart on my sleeve. I got a problem with being way too soft and like way too not inviting a danger on some shit, right? I've had to learn to like both keep my armor on my sleeve or my heart on my sleeve, but then also wear my armor when I'm going. You know what I'm saying? And it's still a journey I'm learning how to do on some shit.
Yeah. Constantly who you were even yesterday, that's a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And
1%
I'm always keeping in mind this quote of what would you tomorrow want you today to do? And it's usually the thing that's the hardest. Mm-hmm. It's usually the thing that's like, sure, I'm passionate about this thing, but it takes a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But I know tomorrow I'll thank myself in the past. And it's that drive of just the constant improvement. Because we've talked about like discipline here and like hope and all these modalities, and they all pop up in our heads at different points. And there's so much information out there in the world. Which one's right? We talked about like how to filter through friends, and we talked about faith. We're bombarded with all this information. Mm-hmm. But for you guys, which one do you think is right? Is it, do you feel it through? How does that process work?
I generally think that like there is no right answer for one, because the right answer is both. You know what I mean? Like when I say duality, when I say dichotomy, like I really mean two sides of the same coin. You must both be dangerous as hell, also a very calm and gentle person. You must be violent, but also be very loving. You must be very hateful, but also be very, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be both sides of everything. You should be able to feel all your emotions all at once, damn near.
You can't just be like positive. Like there's a lot of like toxic positivity. It's not really gonna get you nowhere. Otherwise, it's just gonna like
it's like a robot.
Yeah, like life is very, very cruel. It's very, very tough. At the same time, it's also very, very kind. You know what I mean? So to understand that is to know that like, I got these problems. I cannot just come to you, no matter how long I've known you, and just openly just say all my shit, right? Because now you got some info about me, type of shit, what if the one thing that I tell you that I just did or that I just say is what makes you cut me off on some shit, right? There's always millions of things that could happen, right? At the same time, it's not healthy to move around with like, you know what I'm saying, you're a chip on your shoulder on some shit, right? So it's really just understanding that in every moment, you have to ask yourself that question. Do I be open or do I close off on this one? And then whatever one you do, you choose, you stick with it and you deal with the consequences and you let go of the repercussions. You feel me? So if I choose to tell you that when I was younger, some shit happened, then it's like, and you throw it back in my face, I just say charge it. You know what I'm saying? I chose to trust this person and that's what happened. You know what I mean? I opened myself up. I risked that relationship to get to know a person. And it was a bad move, but like, you know, at least I got to experience that love, that
risk,
passion.
though. That's the risk.
It's better that you know that. You can like hypothetically, like if I were to throw that back in your face, it's like, now you know, right? Instead of like, you know, I could have, like, if you didn't open up to me, like I could have just been like fake this whole time and you never know.
And oftentimes I find for myself too, it's like if I choose to not reveal some piece of information or some shit when I'm feeling down or whatever it is, if I choose to not speak up, a day later, 2 days later, I'm straight. You know what I mean? So that moment was just temporary, right? So I didn't waste the time of giving him ammo or ammunition about me on some insecurity shit. It was a temporary moment, right? So it's just a factor of in every single moment when you choose, you ask yourself both. And across the entire span of life, it'll be 50-50. You know what I'm saying?
That's and there's that argument too of you had mentioned all the array of emotions of the you have to be happy, but you also need to learn how to be sad. Angry, you need to learn how to be calm. And when you approach life, you're going to experience all these negativity, all this positivity. And someone would argue, okay, why try then? Like, why? Like, that's so scary. There's the chance of failure. There's a chance of feeling angry, of feeling sad. But the duality, that's what it means to be human. Like, you see, we're bombarded on social media. We're bombarded with all these magazines and on TikTok and on our phones and it morphs our reality because it all seems so perfect. Everybody's smiling, but that person's probably struggling too with the resentment, the anger, everything. And we just have to accept all that. And you had mentioned, okay, the mistake. Okay, you made a mistake of trusting that friend you had told about that deep, dark secret that you didn't want anyone to know, and you were vulnerable at a time, and they helped you. They helped you at that time, and you got to be thankful for it. But now you know not to trust them in future endeavors. You know what I mean?
Type shit.
And if you didn't do it at that time, then you probably wouldn't have helped yourself, because at that point, that was the best option for you, and you made that choice. And you could go back and go, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have said that different thing to the girl. Then that date would have gone well, or that friend, then our friend wouldn't have ended. No, you could be saying that 2 years and that I could have invested at this. No, that's faulty thinking. That's useless.
You want to waste 1 year or 2 years of your life on some shit. Right?
Yeah, because you could, if you went back right now, if you could turn 18, if both of you just suddenly turned 18 or 17, you know everything you know right now. You would just be exponential. The growth, you know.
I'll be a millionaire, bro.
Oh, dude, I'd be a millionaire too.
We'll buy a bunch of Bitcoin, bro.
We don't just be some Bitcoin. Drop the good songs. Yeah. You know all the lines.
I'm gonna drop Not Like Us in 2016, bro. Watch me.
Not Like Us. Drake will be like, "What the hell do you know?"
You know what I mean?
A minor.
Yeah.
How does he know all
I
that?
think like for me, I've learned to stay in a state of equanimity. You know what I mean? Just neutrality in all things. I did that by like in those moments where I'm extremely, extremely sad or down bad. I think back and I recall to the moments, unrelated even, where I was just happy. You know what I mean? And I really remember those feelings, and I just kind of understand. I'll feel them both in those moments. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, more so the sadness, but I'll feel the happiness as well. And on the flip side of the coin, in those moments where I'm really happy, I'll also remember those times when I was like down, bad, sad. You know what I mean? To cherish the happiness more. You feel me? Same with my anger and my calmness. When I'm like, you know, when you have a stuffed nose and you're thinking back to the times when your nose was like open. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Man, I miss being able to breathe.
Exactly.
Right now.
It's kind of like that.
Right now.
So then when I'm breathing properly, I'm thinking, damn, remember when I couldn't breathe?
Or that injury, you do like a little sore arm, you can't move it properly. You have to go to the chiro or the physio or the leg. You remember that time where it was easier to move properly?
Yeah. And then when that shit finally moved properly, you feel like, damn, remember when I couldn't move? Thank God, you know what I'm saying? I'm straight. And it's like when you walk around life with that type of cap on your head, it's like no one can knock you off your rocker, and no one can say that you're not being authentic. It's fuck. Use my French and shit, but it's fuck. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Good.
I want to ask about like marketing though too, because like as much as I feel like we all kind of on a similar page where we all feel like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing right now in terms of creating our future, right? At the same time, good art, from what we can see by the charts right now, good art doesn't sell. That's not what sells. So it's something else. And if I knew what it was already, I'd be on a yacht. So what do y'all think it is that sells?
sorry.
Like what do y'all plan to do in terms of marketing to really grow y'all brand and y'all career?
Instagram, I've been studying. TikTok, I've been just pumping out. What I find for Instagram, the exposure goes down if you upload every day, but that's just what people advise me to do.
Found that up the hard way, man.
Yeah. It just like the exposure, people like less because you're on their feed all the time. Maybe people get annoyed, but I just got to keep believing in it. And so I keep pumping out the podcasts and just the videos and being creative because I'm not too concerned with the level of engagement. Like sure, some one video got 80 likes, 100 likes, and that it hurts when it's like, oh, it only has 5-10 likes and all my friends see it. They might think, but they don't. I shouldn't care what they think. You know, I just got to tell myself and I'm doing something out here. But
understand.
In terms of, to answer your question about advertising and marketing, tell people that fire that you have right now, it's got me wanting to listen to you. And if you do this once a day on campus with 10 people, I say we go on campus once this new sem starts, man.
We're planning that.
All three of us just go and sell ourselves to people like, hey, like cold approach, infiltrate clubs, infiltrate people sitting in a circle, like, hey, and even if one person that day, that 10 people that we approached that suddenly become a fan, like maybe they listen to our song, look at your modeling and they see something in you, just one, then it's worth it. I think that's kind of the approach because I think with advertising, I've put in like $100 on Instagram, kind of the sponsorships or kind of, it doesn't, a lot of people don't believe that way. You kind of have to build your brand up to $1 million.
Yeah,
first,
low-key,
you know
I feel
mean?
like before you even spend money on ads, if it's not over like 500 bones, don't waste your money. That's what I had to learn the hard way too myself.
I think with YouTube too, I spent like 50 to like $100 on ads. You'll get views. Like my top videos, I wish I haven't done that. And they were the ones that were doing well. They had like 300, 400 views, but I put an ad and now they have 5,000 views. But the engagement is so low. Like people just clicked on that and they didn't really listen. So I'm not gonna run any ads. I'm not gonna run anything, and I see people too that have 50,000 followers, but then they have like 100 likes, and it's like those are all fake. Those are all fake people. You paid for that, and then I'm like, this is all fake. Like to actually like then I see people who actually just don't care and I keep producing. That's kind of the approach that I'm willing to take. I'm just taking the approach of, okay, I got to believe in it. All internal, and then get some professors in on the podcast too. But I think at this point, my approach for this coming semester, this coming year is just to approach people and be authentic and be truthful. If they don't like it, don't fucking stand where people are shitting. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to
kind
it.
of like promote our collaboration is that like, you know, like once everything is like off the ground by the end of the summer, it's like we're just going around like, hey, are you interested in this? Like the other guy that we're working with, Shamey, he's going to what's that event called? Like the
some type of frosh
event? Yeah.
First year thing.
So like he's going there and he's like trying to get like he's pretty much putting like our word out like into that audience, like trying to recruit as many people as he can, and then like we're doing the same thing.
One thing I've really learned, especially this year, is that marketing is 50% of the work, right? 25% of that is the actual work, and then the other 25 is who it's coming from. You feel me? Meaning like you could make a great piece of work, great body of work, but sometimes people just don't like who it's coming from. You know what I mean? Like I guarantee I could have made Hillbillies, you know what I'm saying? And dropped that shit, I would have got clowned. You know, by Kendrick, I would have got like roasted because that song is so weird and peculiar. You know what I mean? I could have made Flower Boy by Tyler and dropped that, and people wouldn't have rocked with it, right? So it was.
What if Kendrick dropped your like what you think is like your worst song? Like what if Kendrick dropped your worst song?
It's getting the Grammy, bro.
Exactly.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody give him, you know what I'm saying?
But there's also the kind of the reputation. Like
exactly,
sure,
right?
I have so many ideas where it's not. I don't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like that'd be the quickest way to go up top. But there's still they're ideas where you kind of, people will lose respect for you and you lose respect for yourself. And certainly I've seen that. Then you take off. But I just want to stay true to myself, because there's really cheap ways. Like, I know, like the thumbnail, just making it as clickbaity as kind of, adding in some words that are
Keywords,
just cheesy.
SEO,
And you had said that, you could make like little pump songs, that type of shit.
Yeah.
But that's not you. And when you get famous that way, that's people who are going to know you. You won't get that respect.
Exactly,
and
right.
that's one thing money can't buy. No matter how much money, like porn stars or like rappers that just make joke songs that have a good beat, but they're just party songs. Like, you're not going to be able to look back 10 years later on a Lil Pump song
I'm not playing that shit
and be
in
like,
10 years,
whoa,
you know what I mean?
like that was visionary.
I'll be playing
racks on
2014 Forest Hills Drive to the day I die. You know what I mean? I ain't playing Lil Durk.
Yeah,
Can't lie, I'm
no,
sorry.
exactly.
I fuck
It's
with
just,
Lil Durk though, but
there's like the level of respect. You can't buy your reputation. Like, you can't buy it.
right. So I think, like, for me, like, the first thing is one, like, building that aura around me. You know what I'm saying? Of like, okay, this nigga just dropped. Let me check it out, because it's like who it came from. Awesome shit, right? I feel like the music is already there.
Yeah.
The quality of the music is already there. It's just a factor of getting like the mix quality and everything up, which that takes time. And then it's just the marketing, which is the one key I haven't really figured out. I feel like if I knew that, I'd be a millionaire by now.
We'll definitely have to get some study time on campus
I
one of
can't
these
lie.
days, boys.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
100%.
We'll study, but then also talk some strategies.
Type shit. I'm so down for that, bro. So
Yeah,
for me,
yeah,
it's just
come
like
in and
you take
cab.
every opportunity you get
Yeah.
as well, because like me, like I just like being invited to like videos, and like other people's like some of my other friends have been making skits for like their Instagram pages, and I'm just like yes. And like another thing I wanted to mention is like all the people that like I reached out to for this thing that we got going on is like it was kind of surprising, like how like Will and everyone was like, they were just like I presented them with an idea and they're like yes. So it's like already now I know that we have a good team, because like these people are like me, they're willing to take the opportunity like when it's presented to them, like they were prepared. They're like, and we'll make stuff happen.
You can't be scared of rejection.
Yeah.
Absolutely
You have to
not.
be able to walk up to a group of people, and you can't lose that enthusiasm. Like, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you just have to get back up.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. And
I
all
think
these
that's kind of
people-
the approach that I've learned too, with like rappers, modeling, people who are selling their creative insights and creative brand, is advertising doesn't work if you just pay for it. It's like door knocking. You have to be able to go up, expose yourself. And I had mentioned, the market doesn't lie. Like, if it's truly bad and you've approached 10,000 people, you're not improving. You're going to realize 5 years later that what you had was a pile of shit. And you know what? You gave it your best.
You try.
Let's focus on U of A.
Yeah.
Focus on U of A.
Get that degree,
Okay,
man.
get
A lot of
that-
y'all
get that
shouldn't be rapping,
degree,
yo. A lot of y'all should
you
go
know,
back to
or-
school.
But I think with I definitely see potential in both of you. I
Thank
think
you,
I
man. You too.
definitely,
Appreciate it.
I see a lot of potential, and still so young, hey? Still that drive. You just can't lose this, man. Like, whatever you have in you right now, both of you, I know for me too, I'm the same. You just can't lose this, and there's going to be days throughout the week where it's one play. Oh, like I'm not getting any gigs, but then you just can't lose that. You can't lose that drive you can't forget why you started in the first place.
Yeah. I think another thing too is like my philosophy on like ads and marketing is like, if you're going to do it, go big. Otherwise it's not worth your time.
Yeah. Put in
feel
a
like
million.
Yeah. Damn near. Like, as you said, if I had $1 million budget right now, I guarantee I could pop myself as an artist. I guarantee. Because it's like, as long as the music is like trustworthyable, and I'm confident that it is on some shit, or even the modeling or the podcast, right? The product is decent. It don't even gotta be great. Don't even gotta be good. Just decent. We've seen what's charting right now, right? If it's decent and you can put it in front of enough faces, it will stick to the fan. At least to the point where it's like, after you're done running the ads, you have a good enough foundation to start and build. And now, like, who it's coming from is actually more important on some shit, right? I think, like, Danny, if you're not spending like $1,000 bones, don't do it. I know a dude who dropped the project recently, spent upwards of like 5,000 on all the like production, marketing, videos, all that stuff. The project sitting at like 200-300K or some shit, or maybe it was at 600K on some shit. First like project after like a long hiatus, right? That taught me that like, damn, like marketing is really that important. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. We'll brainstorm some shit though. I can't lie. Let's get out the mud.
I feel like like I can sense like the amount of drive here, and like that this goes for everyone that's like that like I reached out to as well. It's like people who kind of like who like jumped on the idea right away. It's like they believe in our vision, right? So it's like, you know, and we also picked them out because like we believe in their vision as well. So like we're like from this point on, we're just gonna continue to have each other's backs, and it's like there's really nowhere else to go but up.
It's a beautiful thing to have like a bunch of like no yes men around you, but a bunch of like people who if you ask them to do some shit, they're gonna say yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's bro, it's been phenomenal talking to both of you, man. Let's
Appreciate
take this to land. Any last words to viewers, listeners?
Jamie said he wanted us to shout out his book.
His book, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even.
Oh, you pulling that up? I'm gonna say,
bro, somebody's got a book, man. That's like an entire process.
All the IG, all the TikTok.
Sorry, no, I forgot to ask the question. What does your name mean?
Stro?
Yeah.
So it's short for Astro. It was a kind of like a nickname I got like in high school because like as I said, I used to freestyle. I was like 12 years old. Freestyle like my brother and all his friends, all the grown dudes, like the seniors and shit. And one dude one time was like, "Yo, this nigga's boss out this world." So calling me Astro Boy from like that was like my favorite like cartoon at the time. And then
I watched a movie on that. Astro Boy.
That was my favorite shit back in the day.
He died.
That shit was so
and
sad.
he was like a robot.
Yeah.
Dude, that was.
It was. That's why I don't know. That's why I like this so much because actually like it was real for like a kids movie.
It was raw, man.
Right? But so like, everybody called me Astro Boy, and then as I grew up, I just turned to Astro, and then I just dropped the A because there was a bunch of Astros on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then there's Stro with a Don for my last name to it.
Dope.
Awesome
Dude,
shit.
I love that. And any last words to you, bro?
No, he didn't tell me the name of his book, so that's on him. So yeah. But from this day on, I'll go as Aviator.
Aviator.
Okay, we got
We'll make that stick.
Aviator and Stro.
Stro for Don. Let me shut up my shit, yo. All the IG, all the TikTok, all the Snapchat, everything under Hollywood.stro. You feel me? Neverbeenidle.com for all the details on the local collaboration we got going on.
Flying Sparrows.
This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll send you all the tags that like people can get onto this.
Please
Because like
do.
another thing is like we want people to know about this.
Put it right here, right now. All right.
Right here. And
All right, cool.
as always, to everyone listening and watching, there is a place for you in this chaotic world. Never lose hope. Strengthen your faith and keep it long term. Stro and Aviator.
Hell
everyone.
It's stuck.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard, man.
All right. Say
Take
less,
it easy,
man.
everyone.
Once.